The ocean was an endless abyss of darkness as the explorer's vessel, the Siren's Call, anchored precariously close to the legendary Black Mariah. The moon hung low, casting an eerie silver glow over the restless waves. Dr. Rebecca Hargreaves, the group's leader and an experienced marine archaeologist, stood at the helm, her expression solemn. "Gather round," she said, her voice a ghostly thread against the night's chill. Her team, 4 others in total, shuffled closer, drawn by a mixture of curiosity and unease. "Once," Dr. Hargreaves began, her eyes glistening with the tale's gravity, "the Black Mariah sailed these treacherous waters, captained by the infamous Redbeard. Feared and ruthless, he plundered countless treasures. But as all tales of greed go, it ended in betrayal." The wind seemed to howl in agreement, as if remembering the treachery. Jerome, the youngest of the explorers, shivered, pulling his jacket tighter. "The crew, driven by gold and glory, conspired against Redbeard," Dr. Hargreaves continued. "They assassinated him and his loyal followers. But as Redbeard lay dying, he uttered a curse, sealing their fates to the ghostly twilight of the seas for eternity." A sudden, icy gust blew across the deck, turning breaths to mist. Mia, the historian, looked uneasy, glancing over her shoulder where something seemed to flicker in the darkness. "Everyone who has dared to board the Black Mariah since," Dr. Hargreaves' voice lowered, "claims to hear the haunting laughter of Redbeard's crew, glimpsing their spectral forms in the shadows. None have stayed long, lest they wish to join the cursed souls." As if on cue, phantom whispers began to gather around them, barely audible but undeniably there. Mick, the ship's engineer, muttered uncertainly, "It's just the wind, right?" Suddenly the temperature plummeted. Ghostly laughter, faint but unmistakable, drifted from the direction of the Black Mariah. The mist thickened into an eerie fog, wrapping tendrils around the Siren's Call, isolating them in a floating purgatory. Shadows moved, impossible, unnerving. Jerome backed away, bumping into Nate, the seasoned diver. "Something's out there," Jerome choked, his voice tinged with panic. Dr. Hargreaves raised a hand, trying to calm the growing tide of fear. "We must remain rational," she urged. "Let's—" The words died in her throat as a ghostly visage materialized at the edge of the deck, its hollow eyes piercing through the mist. Captain Redbeard, his translucent form flickering, stood with uncanny authority. His voice, both a whisper and a roar, echoed in their minds. Who dares disturb the rest of Redbeard? The explorers froze. The spectral crew began to emerge, their forms shrouded in ethereal light. Jerome stumbled back, his footing giving way. Mia cried out, clutching her ears against the clawing whispers. "We have to leave!" Mick shouted, his voice cutting through the terror. He rushed to the controls, but the ship wouldn't budge. An invisible force held them tight. Nate, ever the pragmatist, grabbed a flare gun, aiming it at the apparitions. "We won't go down without a fight." Redbeard's ghostly laugh reverberated, echoing across the deck. "You think your mortal weapons can challenge the dead? You are already part of the legend now." Desperation in her eyes, Dr. Hargreaves stepped forward. "Captain Redbeard," she pleaded, "we mean no disrespect. We're explorers, seekers of knowledge. If we understood your story, perhaps we can help break your curse." Redbeard halted, his spectral crew pausing behind him. His eyes narrowed, contemplating her words. "A curse kept by treachery can only be lifted by loyalty," he declared. "Restore what was stolen, and we might find peace." Recognition dawned on Dr. Hargreaves. "The treasure, it's still aboard the Black Mariah." Redbeard's stoic face softened marginally. "Return it to the ocean, and our spirits shall rest." Time seemed to fold as the team, with hastened movements and racing hearts, navigated the Siren's thrall and boarded the skeletal remains of the Black Mariah. In the ship's decaying hold, they unearthed the cursed hoard. One by one, they cast the spectral gold into the sea, each coin vanishing with a hiss, spirits entwined dissolving with relieved sighs. A calm descended, and the mist retreated. Redbeard's form appeared one last time, a grateful visage replacing his fiery glare. "You have freed us," he said before fading into the night. The explorers' souls, awestruck and trembling, watched the Black Mariah's ghostly outline dissolve into moonlit waves, lost to legend once more. As dawn broke, the horizon promised new discoveries etched not only in tales, but kinship forged through the haunting specter of the past.